time for another episode of The Oil Stream with Dustin Nielsen and Tom Gazzola, presented by Popeye's Louisiana Kitchen.
Happy Wednesday, everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Oil Stream, brought to you as always by our great partners at Popeye's Louisiana Kitchen. And nothing says me having a Popeye's chicken sandwich like seeing Tommy in Vegas, and I need to pick me up today. So I'm going to go get a delicious Popeye's chicken sandwich. It's available at well over a dozen locations in the city, and new ones always popping up pretty much every single month, including one that's coming to West Edmonton Mall. Tommy Vegas, what's up, buddy?
What's up, Dusty? Good to see you, as always. Nice to be back on with the Oil Stream because we love it, and it's a great tradition. Nice setup, as always, too. Tommy Vegas is not like wild Tommy Vegas. Those days, I think, are for the most part behind me. I've had some very good nights in this fine city, but I just needed to get away, and I'm just here for a little bit of R&R, to be honest with you. I'm going to go down, get a little activation in. That's just a workout. And then I'm probably going to sit by the pool and drink a slushy drink full of alcohol and then go wander around tonight. Maybe catch up with some friends. But Dusty, like, I'm not like wild and crazy Vegas. I'm just here to just get away. But you went by
yourself, right?
Yeah. But I have friends here. Like, that's the thing. And like, I'll see them, but it's not like a stag or a bachelor party.
But you don't have a commitment to be somewhere at some time for somebody. I'm jealous of that, buddy.
I'm staring at my golf clubs. I'm like, maybe I'll go play around tomorrow. I don't know. It's up to me. I'm a big boy. I can make the decision myself. But yeah, man,
living your own life. Amazing.
It's amazing. I mean, it was all go, right? It was all go till about July, 12th or 13th. And then I just said, screw it. I'm getting out of the country. I'm going to just relax. And I did that hockey school last week, which was great. And Ty asked me to stick around for this week. And I was just like, oh, that's so tempting because it's cool hanging out at the place where they live.
With Marky Mark and stuff,
And guess what? We were golfing last week, and we were on the 10th hole. And this guy gets up from his patio just by the green, and he's the skinny little guy. And he's wearing these bright green shorts. And Ty just looks at me and goes, oh, Beebs is here. And I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, that's Beebs. And I'm like, what the hell? And then we go to this place. They have this thing called the Tree Bar, where everybody that owns a place in this community goes and hangs out. Sheldon Sturray walks by with just an absolute beautiful girl with him. And then Auntie Becky from Full House was there, just sitting or talking to us. And I'm like,
she's out of jail. Wasn't she in jail for a bit or something like that?
That's what I was thinking. And I'm like, that's not that. I'm like, I swear that's Auntie Becky. And she's talking to one of the other guys from the camp, our buddy Tyler. And she's like, oh, hey, Tyler. I'm like, you know, Auntie Becky, what the hell's going on here? Doug Waite. I caught up with Doug Waite. And just so amazing. Like,
that's
such
crazy,
a good time.
buddy.
But I'm like, I got to get out of there because I don't want to deal with the kids. Like, I don't know how to I'm good with kids in small doses. And a week of it was enough for me. So I'm like, I'm just going to Vegas. I'm going to do a few days out here, visit some friends, maybe golf, go hang out at the pool, and then get back home for World Juniors.
Well, two questions. One, you going to hit the lazy river? You going to float around that lazy river a little bit today or what?
I don't know. Maybe. I love lazy river.
Might as well. Might as well do a lazy river. And the other thing I find fascinating is you don't gamble really at all, hey? So like, you're not going to go hit the tables for 3 hours this afternoon by yourself. Like,
no, you know what? I've played a bunch. I don't like slot machines. I don't care for them.
Yeah, me neither.
Craps is fun every now and then. Blackjack, I don't know. I feel the pressure of blackjack. And if you mess
you don't want to screw up for everybody else.
Yeah, I don't want to be that guy. So I don't like, and I don't play poker anymore. So I'm not really a gambler. There's so much other stuff to do here that I just kind of take in the rest of it.
All right, well, you did get some news this week on the Edmonton Oilers front. Yes, Puljujärvi was scheduled for arbitration. Instead, he gets a one-year deal worth $3 million, and that'll bring us to our Boston Pizza appetizer. The patio is open, and the weather here in Edmonton and around northern Alberta is absolutely gorgeous right now. So hit up the patio at Boston Pizza. Make sure you slide in there for happy hour every day from 2 until 5, and then again from 9 until close. If you're looking for a patio today, may we suggest hitting up the BP's Lounge, hitting up that patio as well. Delicious beverages in the sunshine. You simply can't go wrong. Look at Tommy. He's in Vegas. But your BP appetizer today, Tommy, Jesse Puljujarvi, 1 year, $3 million flat. They avoid arbitration. They don't have to go in and pick the player apart, and he doesn't have to have his feelings hurt worse than they already are here. What'd you think of it? What'd you think of the number? What do you think of the deal? What do you think of them coming to terms here and avoiding that?
Number comes in, apropos, kind of where we ballparked it to be, and just 1 year, $3 million flat. It's like, okay, pretty easy to digest. Now, it also doesn't close the door on potential movement. That's the other thing. I think if they did go to arbitration, Dusty, I think the Oilers would, like you said, have picked him apart. And unfortunately, for those that really value the analytics side of Jesse Puljujarvi's game, and I understand and respect it, it would get him nothing. It would come down to goals, assist, points, time on ice, and all of the traditional stats, if you will. And it would have, I would have gotten him a significant raise over what he was getting last year, but I don't think it would have put him over the top or anything like that. And the other thing I'll add to the Jesse Puljujarvi stuff is I've seen a lot of responses and kind of some discussion about Puljujarvi, about Ken Holland's comments saying he didn't ask me for a trade. That doesn't mean he's not open to being moved. You don't have to come out and ask a GM for a move or a trade to actually want one and to make it be known that you want out or you're okay with moving on. So this does not, and that comment did not change anything when it comes to his status of being an Oiler and looking elsewhere potentially, and the Oilers doing the same with him.
With the 1 million or the 3 million number, do you think the Oilers thought he was going to get more in arbitration? Because this is kind of the number that a lot of people were sort of throwing around for arbitration. So, I mean, if you're Jesse Puljujarvi, you're probably pretty happy with this, because even if you went to arbitration, you might have ended up with the same number. So, why do you think the Oilers decided to just kind of get to unless, part of me thinks, well, maybe they thought he was going to get more, but that seems kind of crazy. So, good for him to get the $3 million that we thought he was going to get in arbitration, but he got it without having to go there.
Who was it? Was it Kapanen that got $3.2 million last week? Am I remembering that correctly?
It was Kapanen. Yeah, he was on a 2-year deal, though, I do believe.
Right. Still, so I think they saw that and was like, that's the price point for a player of this ability, and the market was kind of set there. And I think they looked at that. Both sides probably just said, why don't we just get this out of the way, make it a contract that is easy to swallow, and one that's also probably easy to move if that situation arises or when that situation arises. So I think just some compromise on both sides, which is a sign too, Dusty, I think, of things still being amicable, and that's a good thing.
Yes,
as long as
that's what I was going to bring up too. Jesse Puljujarvi could have said, "No, I'm going to arbitration." We're gonna, and he didn't. He accepted a contract as well. So maybe there was a discussion that says, with his agent that says, hey, if you can give us $3 million, we think we might be able to move him to get that done. Or maybe they just said, well, this is another step in the process. Let's get this done. They've come back together once before. Maybe that opens up the window. So that would come to my next question here on the Boston Pizza appetizer. The patio is now open, obviously, at all of your Boston Pizza locations. Tommy, more likely or less likely with this contract in place that he's an Edmonton Oiler to start next season?
More likely, because there's no spat and dispute, and there's no ill will on both sides either. That I think that is a positive thing. If it did go to arbitration and it got ugly and they absolutely shredded him, and then his side, got their shots in at the organization, that would probably fuel the desire for change and to move on. Whereas this, they got it done, easy to stomach. They're comfortable if he comes back. If they find something, they can move on from him. So I think it makes it more likely he comes back and we see him for training camp. Does that necessarily mean it's going to happen 100%? No. But, I think slightly more likely that we see him in Oilers colors, but not a ton.
All right, we'll continue this conversation, but that is your Boston Pizza appetizer. Takeout and delivery options are just a click away. Visit bostonpizza.com or download the Boston Pizza app, and you can order right on the app. Now there's the Kyler Yamamoto discussion, Tommy. He's got his arbitration hearing set. He's pushed back on the Oilers in contract talks in the past recently. Do you think Holland follows this up with a similar type of deal, like a very similar type of deal for Kyler Yamamoto, or do you think that one gets pushed a little bit further by the players' side?
With Yamamoto, I mean, the last discussion I had with some people from Hockey Ops about Yamamoto was it sounded like it was going to get done. Whatever route they go, they'll get it done. And with him, I think there's more of a desire to keep him long-term than Jesse Puljujarvi. I think he's in better standing with the organization and his teammates than Jesse Puljujarvi. And so I could see them trying to go more than 1 year, $3 million. I don't think Yamamoto is clamoring for Joel Farabee money, at least, again, via that conversation I had with those people. It didn't sound like he was pushing for that. I think he kind of has a better understanding, or his camp has a better understanding of where he's at. And that's good because modesty pays in the end. So Dusty, I could see, this is just me speculating, maybe multi-year, maybe that gets him a little bit more money. If he does go to arbitration, he did hit a couple of plateaus that Puljujarvi didn't, and they're minor, compared to what Puljujarvi did. He got to 20 goals. He got to 40 points. Yes, he didn't necessarily get there. And I think that would give him a bit of a leg up on Puljujarvi. But if the Oilers are trying to go more in terms of term, as opposed to just 1 year, I think that might give Yamamoto a little bit of a boost in pay.
Tommy, if Yamamoto, like right now, they essentially, with Puljujarvi getting 3, they don't have enough, I don't think, to get Yamamoto done for just over 3, and then Ryan McLeod at the 1.25 or whatever he's going to be. So, I mean, that could lead us to believe that, a Puljujarvi trade will happen at some point. Maybe a Foegele trade happens at some point. Do you feel like there's still going to be somebody subtracted from this roster because of cap restrictions?
Probably. They got to squeeze in the cap, right? So that's another argument for if there could be a Puljujarvi trade as well. Yes. So you need to get cap compliant. I don't think it's going to be Tyson Barrie. I know that was a name that popped up, but could it be Foegele? Yeah, maybe. But I think they'd rather keep Foegele in the fold and have an NHL player rather than try to rely on an AHL tweener type and make sure that their roster is solid throughout. So it could still be a Puljujarvi trade, but I think where Yamamoto sits when it comes to him in the pecking order with the Oilers, I think is slightly ahead of Jesse Puljujarvi, and I think there's more of a priority to keep him around than a Puljujarvi. And yes, they'll get McLeod done, and then they'll have to find a way to squeeze everybody in under the cap.
If they could move Foegele and they manage to keep Jesse Puljujarvi and Kyler Yamamoto, I think that's the best. I think that's the best scenario for the team in general, as far as being a better team on the ice, is keeping Yamamoto, which is going to happen. It's keeping Puljujarvi as well. If Foegele made $1.75 million instead of $2.75 million, I'd have a lot of time for him as well. I just wonder if I don't wonder. I'm pretty sure, and this is probably why it's tough to move him. You can go find somebody who does what Foegele does as a free agent right now. It's simple, in my opinion. So, I mean, if something's going to crack, I still think Puljujarvi would be at the top of the list as far as something that moves. But even if you move him with your current cap situation, you're not bringing a player back that makes over $2 million. So it just kind of limits the options that they have for a trade if they had many options in the first place. So we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. And we'll get to some of your questions on the next episode of the Oil Stream. I will be in. Are you in Vegas on Friday still?
Yes, until like in the morning. I gotta check out Friday morning. So if we can hammer one out in the morning,
I'm in Regina on Friday morning. So
the
Vegas
old
classic
Canada.
Regina Vegas stack on Friday morning for the Oil Stream.
Wow!
I wish I was.
There's so much. They're so equal.
Nothing against Regina. I'm there all the time. Crazy football fan base. Beautiful stadium. Stay at the Delta. Great hotel. Yeah. But I do wish we were doing like a 2-man show in Vegas, buddy. I'm not gonna lie. That would be
one day.
That'd be pretty good, actually. Yeah, Oil Stream. from Vegas. We will make that happen at some point. That would be pretty good. Tommy, enjoy your day sitting by the pool, and we'll be back with more Oil Stream content on Friday. Of course, if something else breaks between now and then, which we're not expecting, but if something does, we'll hop on and give you some content as well. Tommy, give us all the likes and subscribes again, my man.
Yeah. Oh, look at the time. We can't get to Fogle haters. That's just too bad. As I look at my watch. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that thumbs up button to get that algorithm going. We love you, and we
maybe I'm the Fogle hater all along. I didn't even realize it. Holy smokes! Talk to you later, buddy.
See you, Dustin.